Thank you for joining us in today's webinar and welcome to Evolve Your Business with Simple Networking from Aruba Instant On. Today's event is brought to you by Aruba and Field Data Business Systems Inc. Of course, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our speaker for today, Shailesh, and we also would like to acknowledge the presence of country manager for Aruba Philippines, Miss Gigi, and of course our channel partner or channel account manager, Mickey. For today's program, before I introduce our speakers, I would like to cover a few housekeeping topics to guide us during the entire event, followed by an opening message from our Aruba channel account manager. The next 45 minutes to an hour will be talk to be delivered by our speaker today talking about Aruba Instant On Next Generation Network for Small Business. He will also be showing a quick demo regarding Aruba Instant On. And after his discussion, we'll be opening the floor for live questions. Questions sent through the chat box will be answered first, and after the Q&A, we will have one set of instant quiz We have prepared 5 questions, and of course, we will be giving away prizes for the 5 winners. If you did not get the chance to win the instant quiz, you still have the chance to get gifts during the e-raffle. Just fill out our feedback form to qualify and win. So please let us all stay, learn, and win. This webinar is being recorded to ensure the quality of the webinar, and with respect to the speaker, may we request everyone to please stay on mute during the presentation. You can unmute and ask your questions after the presentation. We have a chat function to chat with the panelists or other attendees, or if you have a question or concerns, you may chat anyone anytime and submit your questions. Finally, let me remind everyone to please fill up the feedback form later to be included in the raffle and have the chance to win a coffee press set from Aruba and Fill Data to be delivered to you after the webinar. So let me now introduce our next speaker for her welcome message. Let us all welcome and listen to Miki Barcelon. Miki is our channel account manager from Aruba, Philippines. Miki serves as our channel point of contact, and this event was made possible through her help. Let us have some applause reactions for Miki. Miki, floor is yours.
Good morning, dear customers. So thank you for taking the time to join the session today. So once again, my name is Mickey from Aruba, and I'm also joined by our country manager from Aruba, Philippines, as said earlier, Miss Gigi Lariosa. So today, we will be sharing with you what the Aruba Instant On portfolio is all about. Aruba Instant On is a powerful, hassle-free Wi-Fi that's designed specifically for the needs of the growing business. It's from a brand you trust. So we can give you, our dear customers, a premium Wi-Fi solution that's truly simple and intuitive. So IDC predicts that two-thirds of the small and medium business will include digital transformation as part of their IT strategy in the next 2 years. So this is where the Aruba Instant On portfolio comes in. The family of powerful and secure wired and wireless solutions is designed to address the current and future needs of growing businesses with capacity for growth. So you, our dear customers, deserve a Wi-Fi network that works as hard as you do, one that's easy to set up and manage as it is easy to use and enjoy. So to discuss further is my colleague from the regional team, Mr. Shailesh Kumar Hokerikar. He joined the HPE Aruba team in May of last year as the Asia Pacific Japan SMB category manager to drive wired and wireless Aruba Instant On business. Shailesh joins HPE from Dell India, where he was the lead technologist responsible for solution sales through channel partners and system integrators. He provided technical expertise in areas of open networking, data center, and campus solutions. Also includes Aruba Wireless, AeroHive Wireless Solutions, SD-WAN, SDN, and data center technology for Fortune 500 companies and their subsidiaries. So once again, thank you for your time, and we look forward to your active participation today. I'm turning you over now to our main speaker, Mr. Shailesh Hokerikar. Shailesh?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks. That was a lovely introduction. Good morning, Philippines, and good morning, all my lovely customers. It's it's a great pleasure and honor to have you today for this workshop. It's my honor that I would be presenting to you. So I'll ensure that, I'll keep my presentation short and sweet. I will also ensure that I will make it more interesting. Do let me know. I have tend to speak faster. If I have to slow down, just, wave your hand and I will understand that I'm going fast. Today's objective is like, introduce you about the next generation platform that we have announced. Okay. We have introduced this product line 2 years back, and it has been very interesting journey. So definitely I would want to share that how Instant On really help every walk of life customer, whether it is a customer from home as sweet as a child, okay, because he is also in a very huge demand. Network is very important for him. So right from that little customer to the ones that we are using in our offices, the businesses that we are. So this is going to be an interesting journey. So let me not waste further time and start presenting my slide. So this is my quick agenda. I'll just get into the trends and challenges that we are all facing. Maybe I'll speak about more of live example. I'm pretty slow in moving on the slide because every slide is very exciting for me. I just keep on talking. It's the whole idea is like to make you understand where the instant on exactly comes in for. How does it really helps? Is it worth investing on this product line? How easy, good or bad it is for you to configure this particular product. So this is where I would be touching upon. I'm making that more interesting by running on a quick demo. Okay, and the demonstration will really help you. Do feel free to reach out to Phil Data. They are a great partners in Philippines. For any demonstration that you would love to have, I would suggest that have the products for demo, test it for a week or so, and I think the product itself will speak a lot of other functionality that it can deliver. Now we have all gone through this pandemic situation, right? It's been almost 2 years now, and we are still there, right? It has changed the way business has been done till now. It has changed the behavior and approach for each of us. Digital transformation has really kicked up very large because of this, because everything is now touch free. I mean, we started with the touch-free operations with the credit cards, I believe the Mastercards or the Visa cards which we had, which came with a Wi-Fi kind of a touch-free operation, and that became the norm of the industry, right? Now, any place and every place that we go, we ensure that we keep safe distance, and then we try to make most of the operations which are happening, which are more of digital nature, right? So as I said earlier, the four walls of our house was supposed to be the place where we relax, right? And this has really transformed, and this has also transformed like the same home which we were getting back late evening was to have a relaxation, was to be with our family members, has suddenly the every room has transformed as an educational room, has transformed as a corporate room, has transformed as there are parents and there are the people who like have like they want to get connected on media, they want to be connected on entertainment. I mean, what would anyone do staying at home 24 by 7, right? So there has to be entertainment. So this has transformed also into an, I would say, a theater kind of thing, because there is an area which requires for recreational and stuff other activities. So which means this four walls of the room, I mean the home, has really playing multi-stage, multi-platform in a different professional way. So hence the network which we used to look in our office, okay, which was supposed to be the corporate network, which was always supposed to be 24 by 7 on, gave better connectivity, and most of the sites simply open because it was all connected over VPN, right? And that same expectation is now been looked at from the home, right? So home is no longer a home. The home is all about all the professional that we are into. Every person in our family has been working for. Okay, and this situation has really put lot of stress in terms of how I would really transform my home network, right? Now it's no longer a home network, it's a network which really require a lot of those kind of touch of an enterprise kind of situation, right? Now having said that, we cannot deploy the enterprise grades of switches, we cannot deploy the enterprise grade of surveillance at home, we cannot really invest too heavily on the network in terms of wireless who would be controller based, and it requires a lot of additional features and functionality, right? There are limitations on the budget. My home network is a home network. It is short and sweet. Okay, it is just maybe one or two access point just to give me enough reachability for every room and corner of my home. Maybe I may look at a switch in case if my home also has got some kind of an automation and stuff. Now, this is not only restricted to home, but it is also in terms of the small businesses that we are expecting these changes coming up. Now, the best way for any customer or maybe any person which is the home user which is looking at, or any of the partners who is servicing you, have challenges in terms of how do I cater to this 24 by 7 kind of requirement at home, right? Now today we get as early as like today we are on the Zoom sessions, right? And this go keeps on going because the business has to continue. There has to be a learning session. You have to deliver your job. So which means your basic hours are extended beyond an hours, and you're always on from the home. And there's a challenge that, if there is a problem in any of an equipment in your premises, how as a partner or how as a customer would you really reach out? Now, assuming that someone of you might be owners, you might have, retail outlets, you might have cafes, you might also be running into restaurants and stuff, and you have got multi locations, right? Now, it's simply because of the strict norms that you cannot travel all the while. You have to attend to certain requirement which comes as, the network not on, right? And this is where the cloud adoption has really grown, right? I mean, we launched this product line, as I said, 2 years back, and with baby steps, we are really seeing a lot of growth coming up. And this the cloud initiative has really helped the customer in a very big way. And this is what I would be talking about. Okay. Now, which are the segments that we really looking forward for? Because as I said that we are the smaller picture within the larger Aruba, HP Aruba. We cater to segments like the financial services. So if you are into business which are catering to stock market, you have got a single location or multi location. So we are the ones which we can cater to your requirement. The healthcares, which are the smaller hospitals like 2 stories, 3 stories, and you have got 50 beds, 100 beds. So then we are the solutions provider for them. Hospitality, we talk about the budget hotels. We talk about star one, star two, star three properties. Okay, because they are smaller footprint. We can talk about being there in higher educations, primary educations, public venues, right? Retail. So these are different customers that would really look forward for the Aruba Instant On solution. Okay. Now, as I repeat that, we are catering to small business footprint. So we are looking at like one customer having two users to somewhere around 100 users. Okay, so that is the scale that we are looking forward for. We can be multi-location, okay, and that is a very interesting part of our solution. So the demonstration will really showcase how we really cater to those kind of requirements. Okay. Now, what we see is like, so this challenges has arrived because of two factors, right? Now, in an enterprise account, typically we look at, 3 years SLAs or 5 years SLA. If there is any problem, we look at like there has to be someone who really comes on quickly and try to fix that problem because my business is suffering. Okay, I need to have the solutions which is scalable, which is secured, which gives you very granular control. Okay, I should be able to scale, which means I need to do a firmware upgrade. I need to ensure that all my devices are updated because there's a security threats which are there, and your firmware updates do take care of a lot of bugs, fixes, and blah blah blah, right? Okay, but in a home kind of environment or in a small business, I mean, once I connect an access point in my home, either it has been given bundled with the service provider or I have purchased it from the retail outlet. I never go and touch that product till the time the product fails. Okay, once connected, it's connected and I know it's working. So anytime there's a net problem, I never look at the product, but I always look at the services provided by my partner or the services which are given by my service provider. Like my your internet bandwidth is slow. I mean it's not working, or maybe my users devices have increased, so I need to increase my bandwidth. So those are the areas which are now becoming very critical concern for small businesses, like the equipments being outdated because they are not scalable. Okay, and then when I say that, okay, I first buy a Wi-Fi. Okay, it just give me a username password. Okay, it gives me a dual band connectivity, so I have got 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz frequency to connect, and that's it. I don't even know whether it is secured, right? Okay, now if I have to add on the security, the product which comes bundled doesn't offer me the security because that is how it is been packaged, right? Because I'll have to also survive in this market, so I'll have to give you a solution which just give you the connectivity. So which means I go and tell you that you have to buy a firewall. So this keeps on adding, and I mean the network becomes very complex from a small business footprint. Okay, and then more importantly, I'm worried now because of the performance. Now the performance was never a question or a criteria in small business or home earlier, right? Because the home network was simply to connect Wi-Fi. It was predominantly used for connecting social media sites or maybe entertainment contents, right? Beyond that, I didn't. envisage that it would be so critical that I need to have bandwidth for my home, right? Only it's time when I see the video, it's not coming properly, I feel that I need a bandwidth. Okay. But now, as I said, the home network or the business network, there are a lot of segments which has arrived. Like, so my kids like connect to the network maybe at 8:30 a.m. in the morning when the school start till 12 a.m. Right? And during that time, I mean, if anything goes bad on his or her network, she just comes screaming. I mean, the network is not working, and he or she becomes a very important customer for me within the home. The second one is my wife. Okay, she's also working for a corporate or running her business, and if she's not able to trade or transact using the network, then she also comes, screaming saying that the network is not working. The third and the most important one, because I am from IT, I have to manage everything. The network also becomes very important for me because the 20 Mbps pipe which I have taken from the broadband provider, I feel it's not sufficient because everyone wants to run a video, a Zoom presentation or team presentation, wants to talk, and the network really not getting sufficient. So that's where the performance comes in. And then I have too many products now to manage. Like, there is the IP surveillance at my home. There's an IoT, automation at my home. I have got switch. I have got, smart TVs. I have got multiple smartphones, gadgets, and more importantly, I'm now worried about the security. I mean, is it someone who is eyeing my network? Is it someone who can hack into my network because my smartphones runs applications which are banking applications and my home network is not as secured as in my office, right? So end of the day, if I have to refresh my network, then the only way for me is to look at a solution which is better than what I've invested, and there comes a cost. Okay, and we are all budgeted customers, right? So we can't spend the way that any enterprise customer might spend because of the footprint, because of the need that I look forward for. Maybe I just have basic application which I want to run, but still those applications becomes really difficult in today's environment for me to execute. So which means as a customer, I am looking at this very basic things, right? I need a box which should be able to work as a router, do some kind of firewalling. I should be able to manage the bandwidth. Can I create networks which are only available for specific time? Okay, because my kid is not on the network the entire day, right? So which means after 12 in the noon, after schooling finish, I need to remove that reservation of the network for her to give it to the other people or the other segments in the home, right? Or maybe same is the case in my business as well. Okay, and then I mean, as we have very limited budget, right? So that's where the budget becomes very constrained. So I am asking some of the enterprise features, but at a limited budget. And then I'm looking for a long-term investment now because if I've invested now, I don't want to keep on redoing the network either in my business or maybe in my home as well. And most importantly, I am not a technology guy, right? I run
Yes.
as dent. Yeah. Any question? Okay. So I run as a dentist, maybe I am a florist, maybe I am running into retail outlet. Okay, so I'm not an IT guy. So I want something which is very easy for me to understand, manage, and configure, right? So considering that, okay, we saw that there is a requirement of a technology gap in the market coming from the solution which is small medium. So there are a lot many vendors in the market there who is offering solutions like the basic network switch or maybe a basic access point. Okay, and then when I look at the current consensus and the pain areas which we are all getting into this particular segment, the only solution was to jump onto an enterprise which was very expensive, okay, for to deploy, build, and manage. Now in that scenario, when we took a data sample, I mean, so this was done in last year on April 2020, we saw that almost that is an 8% of like almost 1.9 billion of requirement which is coming up in the market which is unaddressed. Okay, and this is a segment where we thought that Aruba Instant On can play a very important role. Okay, so basically it's like giving a solution for the requirement. Now, what is the solution all about? Okay, now please keep on dropping your questions as we go. Maybe after the end of the presentation, we will try to answer each and every questions that you have. Right? Yeah. So the solution that we spoke about is basically, I mean, it's pretty simple. So we have got two solutions. One is a wired and second is wireless. Okay, and both these solutions are managed using cloud. Okay, and that's the beauty of the solution offering. So what does the cloud really does? So the cloud solution really helps us to make the solution very simple, right? So in case, as I said, like you are a cafe owner, right? And you have got one your home which is connected. Second, you have got four locations of your cafe around Manila, and you want to manage all the four locations. Now, practically, you may not be possible to visit each and every site of yours. Maybe you might be doing it over a week, right? But you need to know what's happening at each of the cafe, what time are they opening, okay, who are connected, how much of customer has visited, and this is all was earlier possible by calling my managers at all those locations, right? But now without doing that, even looking at who is connected on my network and when the network got connected, who are the clients which are there, I get an entire visibility which is 24 by 7. Now, in case if any site the network has gone down, I get alerts. Okay, and that's where we really give you that simple way of managing using the cloud managed services. And the managed services really become very important after the COVID situation, because sitting at one single place, you could be any part of the world. Because you are connected using cloud, it's very simple for you to reach out and get a dashboard view of what's happening for each of the location. Okay, and these were supposed to be enterprise features earlier, but these are now made very available, affordable by Aruba Instant On. Okay, so thus we provide you a unified management. Okay, we also give you captive portals. Now, captive portals are basically the guest management, right? Now, someone visiting your house, right? Now, you want to create a guest network in your home, and you expect the guests to be coming only after 5 in the evening, maybe till 8, right? And during that time you want to give them a network which is open. Maybe you don't want to give them the username password which you have set for your other family members. Okay, so that's one level of protection which you can give. But if you are into like cafes, so for example, you may have Starbucks or McDonald's or similar local change food chains which are available. Now most of during because of the COVID, there is no sitting or dining area, right? You can come in, you can just maybe keeping a social distance, you can just sip your coffee and then move. Now while you're doing that, you want to collect, you want to have a network access. Now here you can give those captive portal pages and you can customize, you can have the entire data. You can use that data for doing digital marketing, like someone is having a birthday or someone is having an anniversary. Because you have the log with you, you can then send them in advance saying that visit our cafe, there's a special discount for you for your anniversary, plus a complimentary cake, and so this kind of marketing activities can be possible using the captive portals. And then, as I said, security. So security is something which you really don't have to worry. The platform is so easy that the moment you configure a network, automatically the securities are configured. Okay, and thus you can really have a better secured configuration. In the current access point that you are using at a home, they are not really secured unless you have enabled the security. Which means if someone wants to know how many devices are connected inside your home or inside your business, it's very easy for someone to understand that. And more importantly, the username passwords of certain vendors are being mentioned on the boxes or available on the internet. And they come from that specific background, right? So they have made the product line, and as I said, these are the older and the earlier technology. So it's very easy for someone to hack into your network, change your password, and get into the confusion. So this is where you need to protect your inside devices from the external world by not allowing them to understand what's connected, right? And then we keep on, and then you require to have a mechanism that it keeps on improving, maybe with every firmware updates. Okay, someone has to upgrade my devices. Now, assuming that your 5 cafes and your home all put together, there are 20 devices. Now, who is going to upgrade my 20 devices whenever there is a firmware upgrade which is available? Now, just like what you see on your smartphone, maybe every quarter you receive an update saying that there's a new image available. Do you want to install it? And then you say yes, and then you deploy that, maybe during your non-business hours. Okay, so can that kind of a mechanism been deployed for my network? Okay, and the answer is yes. Now, when I say the answer is yes, are you talking about the commercial which it's affordable for my small business, or do I have to invest heavily for achieving these features? Right? And as I said, this is all meant for small businesses. So which means these are now the very important questions that we have. Like, I mean, now there are challenges, right? So I spoke about challenges right from an home to a small business. Now, considering those questions, this will really help you to analyze which product from the market should I buy, and this would really help me scale for next 3 years and can give me a better experience to my employees. Now in my home everyone is an employee, right? So right from my kid, or maybe and then the guests which are coming to my cafes, or maybe if I am a doctor, if there are patients which are waiting for me, how can I give a better experience to them, or maybe from the hotel industry as well, right? So this is something which is really not that very difficult to answer, and these challenges are very much answered by giving a simple solution which is secured and everything is included. So Aruba Instant On solutions are meant for every walk of life of the customer in the small medium space. Okay, and as I said, we define the small medium space from 2 users to 99 users. At any of the small space that we have. Now this 99 is basically the number of gadgets that we talk about, which are concurrently connected. Okay, now I'll just quickly go through a scenarios like, so if we are talking about the cafe, the experience is all about how fast I can authenticate a user, how easily I can give an wireless access. Okay, can I improve the experience of the user? Because I mean, if a user wants to do a meeting, so assuming that I'm not at home and I'm conducting this meeting from some of the cafe, can I get a reliable connectivity? Can I really get a very good video quality? Okay, can I make a voice call? Maybe not every location your GSM works well, right? So in most of the service provider, they allow your normal mobile call to route via the wireless LAN. Okay, and this is an experience what we can provide. And can I get an information of who are my loyal customers who have been visiting me not only at this cafe but maybe at another locations? Can I get them a welcome message saying that, yeah, nice to see you back? Okay, and can I most importantly secure my all my devices and provide a secured access, right? So these are different examples that I'm just calling about. In case of a medical clinic, or maybe in case of a customer who is into media, they would require to pull larger data size, like the medical would be like you are trying to pull the patient history, which might be including some kind of the x-ray reports or other reports which are heavy in file. So can I have a better solution? So in this scenario you require some kind of a 10 gig uplinks to the server, or maybe 10 gig uplinks to the IP surveillance server, which might be storing data or capturing data from different warehouses or maybe different locations of the building. Okay, so this kind of solutions can be built with the solution which are coming up. Okay, and more again, the similar example for a boutique hotel or a budget hotel, where again I need to provide contents to each room. There are smart TVs, there are other gadgets, there are automation gadgets which are now connected on wireless. So can I really give them a better secured connectivity option? Okay, so as I said, these are all the different solutions that we can deliver. I have pulled in some sample network designs. So it's simple. It's like, you can have an 8 port or a 24 port switch, which could be a PoE enabled. You will have IP cameras connected to PoE. You will have IP phones which are connected to this switch. You will have the wireless access points, and there are other devices which are connected on wireless, which could be the IoTs, which could be the sound boxes. There are a lot of things which are evolving today. Every applications provide you with a mobile app. Okay, so mobile app becomes very important for managing your 360 degrees IT need of your network. And then this network could be as small as one single room with one or two access points and one switch with all these gadgets connected. Or it could be different flows, like you could have 4 floors or 5 floors connectivity using fiber or copper, and each floor will have again wireless and cameras and stuff connected. or it could be like a warehouse or maybe a cafe which has got an outdoor, so you require an outdoor unit, outdoor access points which could be connected. So all these setups are very much possible, and they are, you know, been able to configure in as small as 15 to 20 minutes time frame. You don't have to really worry about, you know, how to configure, who will configure. I don't have the IT skill set, maybe, you know, and I need to manage the show, right? Now this is where the solutions becomes very interesting. Okay, now as I said, the solution has gathered all the pain points. Okay, and we are maturing every quarter. Your feedbacks are very important to us. Do tell us what is something which is missing from our solution and should be incorporated. We keep on taking this feedback globally from all our customers and partners. Okay, and try to accommodate those as part of our solution or in our roadmap, which we keep on sharing with the customers who have got NDAs with us. Okay, so as I said, keep it simple. Okay, I need it scalable. Okay, it needs to grow. It needs to have that security which I am looking forward for, and then it has to be reliable. And the reliability comes from the quality of the product. Okay, if you look at the solution which I'm coming up, which will already, you know, it will talk about, do request field data for demo units. I think the best way to test any product line is to have a demo for 2 or 3 days in your home or maybe in your office, and you know, have the proof of the pudding. Okay, so what is the solution all about? So as I said, there are two physical products that we have, which are the access points and the switch. Okay, you can choose between any of the technology, and you can have mix of the technology as well. We give you a portal, that is the cloud portal. Our cloud services are hosted with Amazon. Okay, and you can just simply go and create a login ID and create a site. Okay, I'll show you when we get into the demo. And then you have also a mobile app which will allow you to do all the configurations which is doable from a portal. Now no longer you need to access any product, sit in front of the device, give it an IP address, go to the explorer, type in and use the web GUI to do the configuration. And you do it for, in case if your you know, if your business has got 20 devices, you will have to do it 20 times, because every device has an IP and every device you will have to log in. Okay, or you need to look at a solution which is using third party or maybe the network management from the same party. So again, it is dependent on some of the other you know, tools which are there. In this scenario, the user experience, now I'll take an example of the same cafe, like maybe the 5 locations. So you say that, hey, fill data, I have got my home to be wired up, and have got 5 cafes, and I want to deploy surveillance. I want to have all 360 degrees of the IT automation at this 5 location. Okay, now maybe because of the COVID situation, physical traveling is not possible, but your setups are wired and done. It's very simple for us. We ship field data will ship devices to all your locations. Okay. It will take the note of an inventory, that how many APs and site A and switches at site A, and then we need to just connect it to the network, power on the devices. Once the devices are powered on, you have to just go to the portal or use your mobile, configure, create an account. Okay, and then configure site A, and in the site A you add the products, and then you go and create site B. In site B you add the product, and you keep on doing side by side, right? So once your site is up, you create common templates. Okay, and that is where we talk about the common workflow. So I create a network for my employees. I create a network for the guests which are visiting my cafe. Okay, I create a network for automation. I create a network for security surveillance. So these are the 4 or 5 networks which I create, and that's it. Okay, so once I've created the network, I don't have to revisit in terms of configuration. Now tomorrow, if you say that, hey, in cafe A, location A, I had earlier purchased 5 devices. Now I have also purchased a property next to my door. Okay, and I'm expanding, right? I am scaling up. Now I need to buy 10 more access point from you. So it's very simple. I have to just ship you 10 more access point. You have to power them on and connect to the existing setup. There is no need of doing any network configuration, because that you have already done it. Okay, so it is very simple in terms of doing common flow and a single pane of glass management. Okay, the next very important one is the firmware updates. Now, typically we don't tend to do an upgrades in our SMB or maybe home segment, right? Once connected, it's connected till the time it doesn't fail. Now, in case of Instant on Cloud connected product line, we come up with a firmware update every quarter. Now, whenever there is a firmware which is available, you will get an alert. You will have a window of 2 weeks to schedule the download. You can schedule the firmware update saying that, okay, I want to schedule it on maybe Sunday because maybe after or before the non-business hours. Okay, so that the products are updated, so there's no disruption of any network connectivity. Okay, if not, then it will after 2 weeks it will take on Sunday and it will do a firmware update. So which means you don't have to really bother in case if you miss the cycle, or you don't have to keep on visiting the website of the OEM to find out which firmware is available. And with every firmware you get an option of additional feature functionality in case if you want to apply them. And most importantly, you get a inventory view of every site. So these are some interesting things which are available. Now coming to the product, as you see that these are all the access points which are available. Now if you take a better view, these are access points which are kind of an enterprise grade of a make. Okay, because you if you look at, you don't see any antennas coming out of it. Okay, if you look at some of the consumer product line, you will find the AP with 2 antennas, 4 antennas, 6 antennas, and it look really ugly if I have to put it into my home. I just can't put it into my living room. I mean, I have to really hide it somewhere, right? Now, these are the ones which goes with your deco. Okay, these has got limited LEDs on top of it. You can also silent the LEDs based on the business scenario that you are into. The access points are available in different connectivity format. So we have got 2 by 2 AP11, then we have got 3 by 3, 4 by 4 is for a more denser environment where you have got a large video content and stuff. We also have a desktop variant which is the AP11D, and we also have got AP17 which is an outdoor unit, right? And the most important one we launched last year in August timeframe was the first Wi-Fi 6 certified access point for the SMB business. That is our AP22. Okay. There are lot of features which are embedded in the solution. The most important ones I would like to touch upon. So one is the trusted platform module. That is the TPM 2.2. Now you will find TPM chipsets available in most of the endpoints which are of enterprise grades, laptops and stuff. Now the TPMs are used to connect to a external environment in an encrypted way. So whatever the codes, the firmware or the connectivity which happens with our cloud is being done in an encrypted form. Okay. Now how it works, right? Now whenever you have an access point, you connect it to the internet. It establishes a secure connectivity using the 3PM chipset. Okay, and then this becomes a very secured way of you configuring your sites and networks. And then we also have got integrated Bluetooth, which is currently used for onboarding or maybe detecting your devices on site. Okay, so as we move forward, I will talk more about it. Okay, then we have the 1930 switch category, which again comes with different flavors, and it's a 1 gig switch with uplinks. Okay, as you see in the next slide. Okay, we have got an 8 port flavor, which comes with 8 1 gig port, which could be PoE, non-PoE. It comes with 2 SFP uplink. All the products that you see in front of you are metal based metal chassis. I mean, they are not made of any plastic. Okay, so it gives you much more better reliability. Except for the 24 port and the 48 port PoE, all the other products are fanless. So which means there is no firming noise of the fan which comes in your environment, which is not having maybe a secured or maybe an hidden cabinet, right? Okay, and then you have got a 24 and a 48 port which comes with 4 10 gig uplinks. Now these 10 gig uplinks can be used for connecting a server, which could be IP surveillance server, or for the dentist example, it could be a server which is storing all the images of the patient, so you can have a real time or a better throughput available on the product. Okay, now these are the products which are manageable from the cloud. We will see in the demo how the clouds comes in. Now, the most important and the powerful tool of the solution is the mobile app. The mobile app is available for both Android as well as iOS. You have to simply download it and then you can create, configure all the sites. Okay. Now, more importantly, now if as I take the same example of the cafe owner having 5 sites, okay, and field data being your partner, enabling you for doing all the IT transformation for all your location. Field data can create an account and he can become the network operator for you. Okay, he can assign you as a second user. So you could be the one who will managing all the 4 sites or the 5 sites that you have, including the home. That will be the 6th site. And then at each site you may have a local admin, and you want to assign the local admin as the third user. Okay, and all this is possible. So anytime there's a problem for a site, the site user will get an update. You will get an update because you are the owner for all the sites, and field data will also get an update because he is a partner maintaining and managing your IT assets. Okay, so this is where we structured a true base of giving you a managed service dashboard, right? I will okay, now coming from the solution platform, I will just quickly talk on this. So when we talk about the cloud, right, we don't have any controller in the cloud. The cloud is used only as a configuration engine, right? So the first time to add the product, create a configuration, and that's it. After that, if the cloud is not available, all the products at each of the sites function. Okay, none of your site data pass through our cloud. The data goes directly to the internet. So which means we don't capture any of your data. Okay, the data is all local and goes to wherever the applications or the sites that you're calling for. Okay, now because this cloud is only a management engine, the cloud is available for you 24/7, because you don't have to host any application, you don't have to host any appliance or a virtual appliance. Okay, this is completely comes stress free. Okay, and when you work out on the commercial, right, so in the commercial you look at the physical device. Okay, you look at a controller, you look at the license, you look at the hosting charges. This all blows to an configuration which is equal to an enterprise solution, and that exactly is what we are trying to convey the message, that we don't use any any license, we don't have any controller. You can scale number of accounts, number of accounts, and scale number of sites which you create per account. So this becomes a very true kind of an SMB solutions, a perfect or maybe the right way of doing the cloud networking that we are giving you. And more importantly, it gives you a life cycle management by showing you the inventories of all the sites. Okay, now without wasting further time, let me jump into the demo. So I'll just quickly run through on that. Don't worry. In case if you are very interested on this solution, do ping us. We can definitely have one more round of this workshop, most focusing on the demonstration. We can have as small as 30-minute demo or maybe as long as 2 hours demo, right? Based on how much you are comfortable on the time frame. So as I said, you have to, if you are the first time user, just go into sign up. Okay, enter your email address, which could be your personal email or the corporate email. Okay, and then you sign in. The sign in will take you to your portal. Okay, and this portal is where you see these 2 boxes. These are basically the sites which I have created. You can have as many sites you can create. Almost it can scale to maybe 100 plus, right? So this would be, so for example, if you are a cafe owner, so this cafe owner, so the cafe email address would be your email address here, and then this will be the different locations of the cafe. So you can have cafe location A, B, C, or I mean you can give whatever name that is more appropriate and unique for you to understand. Okay, for me to create a new site, you have to just say set up a new site, right? And it is self-explanatory and it will drive you step by step. So you just say continue. You select what is that you want to deploy in this site. Is it just the access point or the switch or combination of access point and the switch? So you select the appropriate selection and this and continue. You select the way that your solution would be deployed, whether you are connecting this solution behind an existing firewall or a router or an access point given by the service provider. You have to select the first option. If you're configuring one of the device as the gateway, then you have to select the second, then say continue. Ensure that you have powered on everything. Okay, and this is where once you have a successful deployment, when the access point and the switch are able to take an IP address from a DHCP server, are able to connect to the internet cloud, okay, they will give you an indication of the LED which is blinking amber green alternatively, which says that the device are ready to onboard. Once you get that information, you can enter a serial number of the device. So whenever we are shipping the product to each of the site, we will take an inventory. If not, you can also use your mobile app and use the barcode scanner or the Bluetooth on the mobile to detect the product. Okay, now in any site, if you have got 10 devices, you don't have to do this for 10, all the 10 serial numbers. Any one serial number you enter, it will automatically detect all the other 9 components. Okay, and that is how, that's the beauty of the technology. And once you have done this, you will have a site which will be created. Now let me take you inside the site. Okay, which will give you this uh, 4 dashboards. So you'll have network, clients, inventory, okay, and application. Now in the inventory, it will show you all the devices which are there. Okay, so as you see that I have got an access point, I have got, these other two which are seems to be switches. Yeah, it's 1938 port PoE switch and a 370 watt switch. I can just go see the details. I can name those devices with a more appropriate or relevant name. It shows you me what is the IP address it has received from the DHCP server. It shows me about the radios, right? About the connections. Okay, and then let me also show you the switch. Okay, the switch shows you the real-time connectivity on the ports. Okay, which port is connected. So now this says that this is the port which is connecting the Wi-Fi. Okay, this is the port number 8 which is connecting to the cloud. Okay, then I can also see the topology of that particular site, how the devices are connected to each other. Okay, if I hover on that switch, it will give me the serial number, the IP address, the MAC address, and it will also show me how many clients are connected. So this is really great because it really helps you to have a site view. Okay, again I go back on the networks. This is where I create the networks for each of the site. As I said, this is a one-time operation for you. Okay, now let me take you for an employee network. I have created an employee which asks me for an SSID. Okay, this can be any name that you want to give. Password. In case if you have a single sign-on, a Radius authentication and an AD, you can link it to a Radius server. Okay, and then I go to option 2, which talks about the physical aspect about the product, like whether I am going to use video streaming here, I need to limit bandwidth. Okay, now I want to limit bandwidth per client which is connecting. Now, for example, one AP can connect 50 devices, right? Now I want to restrict that every device which connects to the AP should not use more than 5 MB, because maybe I have a 20 MB line coming from the service product. Now this is how you manage bandwidth, manage account, okay, on a specific client or maybe network level. So these are all something like an enterprise kind of features which are making available for the small SMB, and these are the ones which are required in a day-to-day line. Now for this particular SSID called employee, am I supposed to restrict any specific radio, or should I allow both the radios? Is there a larger area which I need to cover? So I need to extend to 2.4. So these are all queries which we can raise. I can also schedule it, right? So as I said, like, this network supposed to run from Monday to Friday. I don't want it for all day, but I want it between the specific time. So I can schedule it, and then I can also restrict with which applications it should run, right? So there are something 19 categories which we have listed. You can select any of or either all of the categories. So only those networks, I mean those websites will be allowed to be browsed for this particular network. Okay, and then you can just say yes, and then I'll just quickly take you for the guest network. Okay, so similarly the guest app configured this as a guest Wi-Fi. Should the guest require to enter any password, I can say open, so it will ask for no password. You can simply look at the SSID and connect. If you have a portal, you can connect to the portal. Okay, on the authentication I will just say yes, and you also have got an options of using external portals over here. And similarly for the guest also, you can have restricted access. You can define which application the guest should be using, right? So similarly, as I said, you can create as many network combinations that you can have for the smaller footprint from the network SSID's perspective. So this is one network you create, and currently you look at in the inventory, I have got only 3 devices, right? So tomorrow, in case if I want to add 10 more device to this particular site, I simply go and say add device. Okay. If once I've added the device, I don't have to configure any network because network is already been configured there. Okay. So that is how it works like a controller. So that's what I said. You don't require a controller. You don't require license. It gives you those kind of an enterprise features at an SMB price. And more importantly, you get alerts for all these sites which are coming up. Okay, so these are the alerts which are there, like the API was offline, the API was online, the switch went offline. Okay, you can customize the alerts. You can go to site management. Okay, you can add users. So as I said, currently this is the primary account. If I want to add maybe a site user for this particular site, I can have a specific email address added over there, and I can have 3 users for one site. So as I said in your example, the first user can be field data network operator. Second user would be you because you are the owner, and the third operator could be your site in charge, a manager or someone who will be there. So this is what. So there are a lot many features which we can talk about. Okay, now in lack of time, maybe I'll just touch on this last part. So this is where you get an alert on the new firmware update, and you can schedule the firmware update whenever you want. For example, you want it on Monday, and you want to do it after maybe 12 hour in the night. So automatically this device will be updated, and the next day morning when you come, you are up and running, right? So this was the demo that I had to focus on. So there are a lot of things we can look into. Do write back to field data or us, and we will be more than happy to host on that session. So with that, thank you so much, and let's move to any questions which we need to address.
I mean, just a quick question. Um, I don't
Yeah,
see any firewalls.
yeah. So that's a good question. So as I said, the access point from Instant On comes embedded with firewall feature, comes embedded with IDS, sorry, the IPS feature, that is application intelligence. So whenever I go to the network and I create the first site, right, the first network, automatically at the backend the firewall kickstart. It ensures that all the inside networks are protected. Okay, and then as you start selecting, so for example, when I create an ad, right? Okay, so this is a new network I'm adding, and when I say wired or wireless, the moment I select any of the criteria, basis of the selection, the additional configuration on the securities are attached. So this is where the firewall is zero touch. Okay, now for example, I've just gone to network security and I said restricted, and I've just want to restrict any specific IP stuff here. Automatically that gets added to the firewall. So you don't look at it as a normal traditional firewall where you have to create policies, write ACLs and stuff. They are all done automatically. Now here you see that network security protection. I just say simply go and say yes, I need it, and automatically it will touch point all the relevant areas where it needs to be protected. So the firewall solution is applied automatically based on the selection criteria that you do. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of inter-branch routing, say for example, if we have those branch, say small branch that have an internal systems that we need to connect to the other branch, we still have to use our traditional firewall or router for that.
Yeah. So if you are referring that you have got two branches, branch A and branch B, and you need to communicate between the branch where for which you require a VPN, right? So currently we don't deliver VPN services from our device to device. There, yes, you are right. You need to ensure that you have some kind of a firewall or any other appliance which can help you to create those VPN. We do also give VPN services which are software based, which are more from the client, and we work with NordVPN as a technology partner. But those are the VPN application which you need to install on the laptops or maybe the smartphones. So we can do client to client and not from device to device.
Okay. So does it capable of SSO?
Sorry.
So for example, does it have a single sign-on capability which we can integrate with, say for example, Azure AD?
Yeah, you will have to test this out. Okay, so as I said, maybe from the guest portal, if you are doing a portal integration, there are three options which are available. In case if you have your own portal, you can customize it. In case if you want to use any of our five technology partners, you can select. We have worked out on a better commercial with them. Okay, and once you get into the selection criteria, you have a radius option. Okay, where you could integrate the radius would be your Azure link. I mean, there are lot many pages which are available. We earlier did with Microsoft NAP. Okay, so that's very much possible, and the similar way it could integrate with any of the Azure or any of the solution which is there. Now, this I was talking about for the guest, but if you want to do it for your employee network, okay, so as I go into the employee option, I have an option for radius. You can just redirect those things to your Azure and it should work. You can try this out. Let us know if you have any difficulty. We are more than happy to help you.
Yeah, but I can see it as a radio server, so we need an infrastructure for that. But I'm talking about direct to Azure AD. Is there
Yeah,
any
yeah. So
integration for
Azure,
that?
yeah, Azure AD also works as a radius for us. Maybe you can just share your query on mail and we can reply back to you.
Okay.
And there are some stuff available on the community. Maybe you can just visit arubainstanton.com. So this is a dedicated site which you have made for the InstantOn product line, and there you can just search on the community site. So you'll find few of the blogs and few of the earlier integration which comes in over there, and this could be handy for you. In case if it doesn't help you, do reach out to us on the mail and we will get back to you.
Okay. So in terms of firmware update, in times or those updates that has been released or totally been checked for errors. No, I was worried about if say we do upgrades and then if problems exist after they upgrade, how can we um, go about with that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I understand. So the question I reiterate. So if we release a firmware, so assuming that we are today on 2.2.1, okay, and the next firmware, assuming we are coming out with 2.3. After we announced the firmware and we found out there are some bugs and which are causing problem, okay, and which gives a instability of the network. Okay, yeah, that do come in. I don't deny because it's a software, but because we are cloud-based solution, before releasing the solution on the cloud, we test have lot of checkpoint tests which shows that at least it will not give an outage of the network. Okay, there might be few minute issues which might come up which are always registered to us, and those same updates are immediately taken care and pushed to all the connected devices, and we ensure that we don't give you a issue which you would run into a network outage.
Okay, so for best results or just to be resilient, it is still best to have a test environment or at least a staged upgrade for us to do. Right? Is it right?
Yeah, so that's why we give you the 2 weeks window. So whenever we announce an update, which typically happens every quarter end, there's a 2 weeks for we to also analyze if there are any concerns which are coming up from any deployment which is there in the field. And then we immediately come up and I mean, as I said, that we have got an engineering team which is running round the clock, and if there are any concerns which are come up, there are updates which comes as a bug fixes which gets improvised in the image. And as the image is pushed from the cloud, you don't have to really track about which is the one which is really taking care of the updates. So
And
far, last 2 years, we have not faced any major outage, except for one outage which we came across where it was because of the Amazon. But I think if you look at Amazon as a service, the SLAs that it drives with the customer, I think it's the best platform which is currently available, which gives you the services.
Yeah. Apology about that, mate. I have a lot of question. Yeah, the very main thing for me is that we're deploying Mirakis for most of our clients now, and I'm looking for an alternative technologies for that. The
Mm-hmm.
Mirakis have all of the product suites, like they have the firewalls for this, the switches, and the access points, which is the same, right? And that's what I am looking for, is that a completeness of the system. Like Aruba doesn't have any firewalls like the Meraki has, so how we can integrate all of those branches. So what would be the key points, or the advantage of these technologies compared to Meraki, so that I can really have an
Okay.
edge to propose this.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your questions. So as I said, sir, this is a solution which we are driving in the small medium space, right? Meraki does scale from the smaller to the larger one, but in most of the scenarios, the Mirakis are the enterprise grades of the solution because it comes with different footprints, like as you mentioned, the gateways, the firewalls, and the stuff like that. Definitely, we have a solution coming from the enterprise class. I would suggest you do connect with our team on the ground. Maybe Mickey can help you assist over there, and we can connect with our the guys who are managing the security. I mean the enterprise portfolio. We do have equivalent to Meraki, but considering the requirement of the features and functionality, my first worry is like, am I Aruba Instant On a right fit for your customer? Because you'll have to really look at the pros and cons on the features and functions that we deliver as Aruba Instant On. And then maybe we can get into a comparison. Maybe we can also have a discussion offline or maybe connect on this separately.
Okay, sure, sure. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Okay, so coming from the warranty perspective, maybe I've missed out that the access points comes with 1 year warranty, right? The warranty and the service are supported directly by Aruba HP. And if you look at from the switching, that is the 1930 product line, the warranty comes with limited lifetime warranty, right? Now, traditionally, the warranty dates are from the date of shipment, right? So assuming that we have shipped the product to the distributor warehouse in Philippines in Jan, and by the time there's a requirement which field data says that okay, this is a customer and I need to buy those products for them, and they buy the products in this particular month, which is April, and by the time the field data installs the product line at all the customer sites, I mean for that particular customer, maybe by May, okay, the product goes, the first time the product gets connected to the Aruba cloud would be assuming May 10th, right? So as I said, the first warranty date for us is the shipment date, which is Jan 2021. But the first time the product got connected to the cloud, which was the first time it was connected, is May, right? So the warranty dates gets applied as May. Okay, so it gets reset into our system with the date of the first power cycle, and that's where we get a protection of those particular dates of where the stocks was lying. So this is where how the warranty works. Coming to opex and capex, I think we sell all the products, right? But it is up to the partner in case if they want to work on a like 3 years agreements or something like that, looking considering the other IT needs. This is where the managed services can be worked as a separate model. So this can be taken offline. Yeah.
All right, thank you so
Yep.
that.
Regarding the warranties, I would assume. Sorry, I was late earlier. I would assume that since this has limited warranties, there's no licensing requirement for this one.
Yeah, so we don't have any license which is required, one for the warranty and second for enabling any services which are connected to the cloud. So you simply buy the product default warranties are intact, and you just connect to the cloud using the portal, and that's it. The job is done. And you get all the features that we showed and talked about available to you. So that would be so there's another and this is another good answer which we when we compare to certain sorry if I'm taking certain OEMs name. So for example, Miraki, or you have got Miraki Go, or you have got Ubiquity. You have options for license to enable gateway, enable firewall. There are additional appliances which comes in. So those are not the case with us. The product line comes embedded with the router functionality, netting functionality, firewall functionality, and application analytics. So there is no
And
additional license.
and
Yeah.
for those products that are out of warranty, can they still leverage the updates?
Yeah, so that's another important questions over here. So one is like assuming that the customer has purchased the product with the default warranty for the access point, which is 1 year. Okay, and after nearing to the 1 year, he wants to extend the warranty. Yes, he can very much do that by buying the foundation care pack, or we can work out on a 3 years package with along with field data for the customer with a 3 years package. So that is another two. Now, assuming the customer don't want to renew the warranty. Okay, now till the time the product is online in operation mode, he can still leverage and use the portal service, which could be the firmware updates and stuff as applicable by any IT organization. If that hardware can sustain and take the firmware updates are available.
I have here another question. Can we also manage the Wi-Fi in our other branches located in other cities using
Yeah,
the Aruba Cloud?
that's a great question because that's the whole beauty about the cloud technology, right? Now, assuming that you have got two locations in Manila, maybe one location in Singapore, another location in Dubai, it's that like you just have to, as I said, you just buy the product in locally or maybe ship the product from here to those offices. Okay, connect it to the internet and you create a site over here. As you saw in my dashboard, I had created site called C8. I have created India. I could create Australia. I could just create the site and you can have a visibility and you can manage those products from here. The answer is yes.
All right, thank you. And I think we have last question here. Any option for trade-in for new product?
Certainly, we can connect on this. Let us know, drop us a mail to our representative there and let us know what are the product line that you're looking forward for, what is the current setup that you have. First, what we need to look at is like, do we are the right fit for you, because we'll have to look at the features functions that you're looking forward for. If there are any features which we don't support, maybe it's better we talk to you about it. Yeah, so just connect, maybe we can explore on that option. So what if
Okay.
we are just buying the access point from you and we have got any other vendor switch, right? uh, there is no disadvantage over here. Okay, I would say that in only in the topology you won't be able to look at the any third party products. Okay, it will only show you the AP and you can manage and configure the AP. Rather, there are more advantages if you are using the 1930. But I do understand that maybe you have already purchased the switch and you just plan to buy the access point. Yes, the combination does work.
Okay, thank you.
Just a last one on the highly dense AP. What's the maximum user clients for that?
Okay, so there are different capacities for each of the products. So as I said, the APs come from 2 by 2 MIMO, 3 by 3 MIMO. So the 2 by 2 typically are 50 concurrent connections, right? The 3 by 3 is 75, the 4 by 4 is 100, and the AP22, which is our first Wi-Fi 6 certified AP, that supports 75. So we have a quick reference guide and it talks about it. Maybe we can share you those links. If you just visit arubainstanton.com, you'll get that information too. But the lowest is
Okay,
50 and the
thanks.
highest is 100.
Yep, thanks, Mike.
So let's
So,
collect all the questions because this is really important. The whole idea is like you should know the product well before you buy it, right? And definitely it will not turn you down. So we also want to do the justice that we are selling you the right stuff and we are making you as one more happy customer for us. So thank you so much for your day. Be safe and take care. Have a great day.
if you haven't filled up the feedback form yet, please scan the QR code now so you can have a chance to win the raffle. Before we move on to the closing part of our program, we would like to take advantage of this opportunity to invite you all to our upcoming events flashed on your screen. And before we close the program, I would like to call on our Vice President, Corporate Sales Division, for his message. Sir,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Good morning, dear customers. First of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out to attend our session this morning. And thank you also for your active participation. I was looking through the chat box, and I really learned a lot. No, thank you for making this event, this session, very lively and interactive. At the same time, I also like to thank you for filling up the forms. This will really help us get back to our customers who have requirements. So we will please expect a call from us, and as we work out on how we can meet the requirements, we'll be working closely with Aruba. At the same time, I'd like to also congratulate the winners of our raffle. Congratulations, and I do hope you enjoy the coffee. Also like to thank our resource speaker, Shailesh. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you, Shailesh, for being such a good resource speaker. I'm sure you have made an impact for Aruba on our customers. So I'm sure they'll be considering Aruba as an alternative for their networking requirements. Aruba has been one of those companies that has invested early on the cloud, and I think that's very timely as we are mostly working from home. So again, thank you, dear customers. Thank you, Aruba. Thank you, Mickey, for supporting us. And of course, the country manager is Gigi. Thank you for your support. And we do hope to see you, our customers, in our upcoming events, including that of Aruba's Atmosphere 2021. Again, thank you for joining us this morning, and I wish each one of you a safe weekend. No, it's a long weekend, so hope to see you again in our upcoming events, and looking forward to working with you and your team for your networking requirements. Good morning, and have a safe day.
So thank you everyone for joining. For inquiries and further questions, you may reach out directly to your assigned account managers or email us at sales@phildata.com. For information and updates, you can also follow our social media accounts on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Our social media handles are one Phildata. Once again, thank you everyone, and have a great rest of the day. Have a happy long weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Jason Bergeson with Aruba Networks, and today we're going to be setting up a full stack solution with an Instant On. All right, before we get started, let's go ahead and go over the topology that we have today. So we're actually going to be utilizing an AP11D that you see over here to my right, and it's going to be acting as a router. All of our access points actually have the ability of working as a router, meaning it can be directly connected to an internet gateway like a cable modem or a DSL modem to get internet access without having to purchase any additional hardware. We're taking advantage of the 11D specifically because it has additional ports at the bottom of it that we can actually connect into the 1930 switch that you see right here in the middle. We're utilizing the 1930 switch in today's demo and setup in order to provide us wired connectivity for wired devices like computers, voice over IP phones, and additional access points in the deployment. And last but not least, to my left, we have the AP15. The AP15 is going to provide us Wi-Fi in the local area network in order for us to get access to the internet and the network connectivity wirelessly. So full stack solution inside the Instant On portal today, all set up within this video. All right, so on your screen, you should see what I am seeing on my phone right now. The application should be appearing. And we're going to go ahead and walk through the setup of the AP11D. And right now, it's asking me to set up a new site because I haven't created a site before. I'm going to go ahead and tap continue in the lower right-hand corner. And today, it's going to ask me what I want to set up. And today, we're going to be setting up an access point and switch. So I'm going to be selecting that as an option and then selecting continue. Now, Instant On has the ability of being set up in two different ways, especially from a wireless perspective. You can connect access points to an existing deployment in order for Instant On to provide Wi-Fi connectivity, or you can take advantage of that router mode that I mentioned earlier and utilize a router, an AP as a router, specifically the AP11D in this case. So I'm going to select that second option and then continue at the bottom. It's asking if I already have plugged in the device, which I already have. It's powered utilizing a wall adapter, and I've already connected it to the internet via an internet gateway to get internet access. Now it's asking if it's blinking amber and green, which it already is blinking amber and green because I've plugged it in ahead of time. What amber and green means is that it's in setup mode, and now the device is utilizing its built-in Bluetooth radio to find my phone with its built-in Bluetooth radio, and they're talking together in order for it to be configured and set up. And really the benefit here is we don't really require any networking knowledge to get these devices up and running. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add device, and while that's getting up and running, I'm going to plug in my 1930 switch so we can go ahead and get booted up and set up ready to go. Now I'm going to give my network name the name of demo, and this is the wireless network that's going to be broadcasted for Instant On. I'm going to give it a password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then tap continue. I'm going to leave the United States region the same and the name of the site as demo site just for today's purposes, and then now select show it to me. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my switch into my AP11D so it can have network access. Utilizing this cable right here. I'm going to plug it into the second port on the AP11D. Now, all the ports are configurable with the AP11D as well, just like the switch ports will be in the app. Okay, so now our switch is ready to be set up. It's now blinking amber and green, which means that it is in setup mode. Now, unlike the AP11D or the other APs in the lineup, our switches don't have built-in Bluetooth. We would be able to utilize the serial number in order to get it added to our site. But since we've already set up an AP11D on the network and an Instant On site is already being created, the Instant On AP11D now can help discover the 1930 switch without having to do any of that whatsoever. So let's go ahead and get that added. I'm going to go ahead and tap on the devices tile in the lower right-hand corner. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign. The plus sign is now going to let me add a new device on the network, and then I'm going to select search for my device. Now, because we have the AP11D on the network, you see how quickly that it was added onto the network, pretty much instantaneously. Now I'm going to select add device, and now it's going to take just a few moments to get the device added onto my Instant On site. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and plug in my AP15 to get that set up as well. Plug it into the next network jack over, and plug it into the AP15. So now that we have our switch added, let's go ahead and get the AP15 added onto the site as well. Now I'm back in the device tab because we just added a switch. I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus button again to add the AP15. Now, since we already have the switch in the AP, discovering the AP15 is going to be almost just as quick as the switch was. So we're using our devices that we already have set up to locate additional devices. I'm going to go ahead and select add the device, and just like the switch, getting it added onto the network is just that easy. So it just took a matter of minutes to get all three of these devices up and running. We are taking advantage of the AP11D acting as a router. It's connected utilizing its ports at the bottom into our switch to give wired device connectivity to devices like voice over IP phones, computer workstations, and additional APs. We've plugged in our AP15, which is now going to give us wireless access within our infrastructure. And as you see, this is a full stack managed solution within the Instant On portal that allows you to manage it from anywhere in the world utilizing your phone or the web with no license or subscription cost whatsoever. Everything is built into the hardware that you see here today. So really happy with the overall deployment today. It's extremely easy to get up and running. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions, please visit our website, ArubaInstantOn.com, to get more information about all of these great products. Again, my name is Jason Bergeson with Aruba Networks. Thanks for joining us today.